just going for a walk became tiresome, became very fatigued. It was basically not being able to do the things you wanted to do, and that's just going for a simple walk.
So I first had lung problems in 1987. Very rare, affects women only. At that time, there was no treatment, no cure, and I was told it would probably be fatal within 10 years. Consultants then said, all right, before we do any surgery to stop this happening again, we're going to talk to a team at a lung transplant center.
I was a 7-year-old when I started to cough continuously with no reason. At 35, unfortunately, I had to start to use oxygen 24 hours a day, and I did it for 15 years. I lost my work, and I had to find a different way to live, waiting for transplant.
For some people, being told they need a lung transplant must be incredibly scary. But for me, at that point, it was just the best thing that could happen to me, because it actually gave me some hope, hope that I might have some kind of future rather than the continuing deterioration of my lungs.
Not only do they check your medical condition, they also check your psychological condition and also your network behind you.
The psychology of it, making sure that you've got the mental resilience as well as the physical resilience to get through the surgery and the potentially difficult times thereafter. And that extended to my circle of family and friends as well, checking that I had that backup too.
They actually tell you the facts, which we found hard to begin with. We found it very difficult to actually thinking, well, I've got a 20% chance of maybe not making the operation, but they can't sugarcoat it. They have to tell you the facts.
Being on the transplant list is really difficult. It's obviously difficult physically, but the mental aspect, psychological impact on the person waiting for the transplant and everyone around them is so hard, because you've got your bag packed to go to the hospital. You're waiting for that call. It could come through at any time, but you could be waiting months for the call that actually gives you that chance of life.
You have to believe that this is the right choice for you, and you have also to believe in your doctor.
We got the call. Yes.
Are we in shock or
Total.
what? 10:15, and anaesthetist has just been in to say
it's going ahead.
So the coordinator came down and said, can we go somewhere quiet? And she took us into the faith room, didn't she? And she said, you think this is the maintenance call, don't you, Ron? I went, oh yeah, it is, isn't it? She says, no, it's the call. And we both burst into tears. And I said to her, this is not tears of sadness, this is tears of joy. Yeah, she was crying, I was crying. Said me byes, because you don't know whether you're going to survive. You actually don't know. So we had tears rolling down our eyes, didn't we?
That was probably the toughest moment, I think. Let it go, not knowing what was going to happen.
it was a tough point.
The next thing I woke up was in critical care, some 14, 15 hours later.
So coming round after the transplant surgery and actually being aware that I had actually made it through that surgery was fantastic. I remember I think it was about midnight when I had the surgery. It was 7 hours of surgery or something. So it was daylight when I came round, and I was aware of that. And I remember just thinking, I've made it through that. I was in hospital for, I think, 3 weeks. But every day I was seeing a difference. I was taking off the oxygen probably about, I can't remember exactly when, about day 10. And that was a very big thing, because by then I'd been wearing oxygen using oxygen for, I don't know, 2 years.
And then you start to count every day they took off a tube, and this is very nice, waiting for the day that you take off the last one, and but you immediately feel that things have changed.
Some of the best advice, though, that I got in hospital was to expect setbacks. You just have to accept them, because setbacks are going to happen. Transplantation is a roller coaster ride.
And all of a sudden, the alert nurse shouts, "Critical care now!" And it was literally, doors swung open, everybody jumped into action, they wheeled Ron off, and I was left standing there on my own. And although they warn you these things can happen, when it happens, it's so intense. Your emotions are so fragile.
The transplant is an experience that change you a lot, because it changes your body, but also your mind. What you live. It's so stronger that when you go out of hospital, you are not the same person that entered there.
My recovery was good. It wasn't straightforward, but then I don't think anyone's is. But I built up my fitness, which itself, because I've been so weak and hadn't been able to do very much for the years leading up to my transplant. I had to build up muscle again and strength again. But the most amazing thing was that when I did try to do that, I did get fitter, and I regained a very good level of fitness and quality of life. This is not like other surgery where you get your good team, you go in, get your surgery, walk away, and hopefully that's you. This is a long-term, lifelong commitment to and association with that transplant unit.
It's the donor that's in the back of my mind all the time. It's that I have to get well for my donor. Once I get well and I can start planning going on holidays, start planning going for meals, start planning doing these, it's always with the thought of my donor in the back of my mind, because it wasn't for that person, I wouldn't be here today. Because my consultant actually said, if your lungs were so poor, he said, you wouldn't have made Christmas. So the problems I've got now are negligible to what they could have been.
Being positive, and I suppose having hope is really important, and that's what even the possibility of transplant gave me hope at a time. When I thought that my life expectancy was going to be very, very limited. So having hope and being positive about it is a really important part.
Up until that operation, we didn't have a future. Now we have, and we can think further than the operation, which we've not done for years.
you have to believe in it, you know. You have to think that it is this will be your future, you know, and this could be your new life.